the middle, the speed gate, will probably keep the tempo up and score.
Yeah, that speed gate is definitely something to keep an eye on in this match. But so far, so good. Both teams just duking it out, one against the other. A lot of abilities being used here, but that's going to be first barrier, second barrier. Yin Kirby picking up 2 with some timely uses of abilities. But so far, no goal. Flowers trying to take it back with the Cyber Swipe, the strike shot as well from Jewish Asian, but not quite going to be getting a goal there either. The Strike War won in the end by Beelzebub with that primary usage. The Firewall Sentry not going to quite get the connection, but will lock out the corner. No, the strike shot is really nice from Beelzebub. The strike shot from Atlas, the strikes, the core flip from Flowers is really nice. Gets both the barriers in the end. Astral Projection as well comes out, but it's not quite going to be the goal just yet. The passing play is really nice. Slime pass up, but the core flip force out of Beelzebub is going to secure it. Flowers low on health, but does have the Celestial Intervention there. The pass down to Julak there. Yin Kirby killing a Blobo flying a little bit too close to the edge, and the core flip down to the bottom is going to be the first goal. But first point going to overtime. I think I like this game already.
Good strike placement going in from Yin Kirby, and looking at these Awakenings, it's double stacks for this forward side of COYO, but Twin Drive on the side of Sphinx. So it's really the battle of who can stack up their stacks first and take over the game, because all this speed is going to be hard for each team to catch up, because once someone dies, they're gonna be playing on the back foot for most of the point, and which allow the team with the stacks to just out-tempo everyone.
Yeah, but also the team with the core flips, and oh, that's another Aimi going off the edge, and that's the stacks on stacks reset there, and the beautiful primary there from Beelzebub, all the way from downtown, putting it all the way in, taking a 2-0 lead here, and quite a commanding one for COYO so far.
They're really punishing Sphinx's jumps, and now it's not that bad that Sphinx is dying because they don't have stacks, but they're just getting even more abilities and more tempo and more power play interactions to help get through this Atlas, because this Atlas does have Twin Drive, and it's going to be a bit hard to score on 1v1, but COYO's going to figure something out, they're going to play together, because that's their playstyle, and just take over this game.
Yeah, Julik as well, I want to highlight that secondary usage there, the proximity drone, just doing wonders for the dribbling around the opponents. The passing play as well from COYO has been superb, just playing into each other's strengths and really just trusting one another. The ultimate from Sphinx does get some time, but not much else, as the clear is completed by a core flip from Beelzebub. Astral Projection is really nice. Firewall Sentry, Cyber Swipe, Flowers investing just about everything there, but not getting a barrier still. Sphinx does manage to win the strike war with the help of a timely Slime, but that is only one barrier. We are now in overtime. Pendulum Swing defending us really nicely by Jewish Asian there, and we have the Red Core Slime getting a second barrier on the other side of the field. This is now an open goal, the barrier advantage over to Groundhog Day, but the core flip, really nice counter. The Cyber Swipe sends it over into the barrier, and the proximity drone as well. The core flip counters the Astral Projection, sends it all the way to the top. Yin Kirby finding an incredible angle.
Oh, a great shot. Raleigh gets it done in that scenario, and now he's in the MVP slot. Well deserved, and looking for more speed, more size. Ooh, I'm looking at that peak performance, but there is a 1-2 punch on the low, so it's the battle decision. Do you want to play for your win condition or deny the other team?
Is going to go with the built different on that, and in the end it's going to be the Monu deny away from the now, so basically just saying, yeah, if I'll leave the 1-2 punch open so that if you take it, you don't deny my now. Which also takes it away from the Atlas, so Atlas, no chance he's getting Monumentalist in this draft. And that means that in the end it's going to be the 1-2 punch falling to Mako, and it's going to be the Spark of Agility on Flowers, looking for potentially some Spark scaling. And of course, if you are down a set, Sparks are kind of nice because you have to already get an extra set to win, so it's just more of a chance to scale those Sparks if you really think about it. It's also a little bit of copium, but I do not mind that pickup, especially since Flowers stacks on stacks Spark of Agility is just going to be so fast on that enemy.
I really like the draft from COYO. They got the size and the Rasmus, and they got peak performance on the now, so a lot of speed coming up, and it allows Yin Kirby to win 1v1 to get this rotation, because so many cooldowns for that Twin Drive. And it's going to be a test to decide a Groundhog whether they can penetrate the defense of Mako with an unconventional comp with Amijino.
Yeah, it is indeed a bit of an unconventional comp, but We'll see if they can get something done there. Unfortunately, not this defense from Beelzebub, and the layering with Julak has just been impeccable all game long. So it's very difficult to actually get through with enough abilities to stand against those strikes. And the incredible find from Julak all the way around the Cosmic Expanse. And that's going to mean Flowers almost dying there, but not quite enough damage on Yin Kirby just yet to get a kill like that. Core Flip as well from Sphinx forced out of there a little unfortunately. Core Flip from Jewish Asian really nicely found, but Yin Kirby with an incredible Death's Touch all the way up at the top. And I mean, Yin Kirby, I don't want to, you know, be too harsh, but really just playing with the enemy team, playing them like a fiddle on this one. Level 5 in a game where the next highest on the enemy team is barely level 4 is just speaking wonders about the core control on this comp, and Julak not far behind either.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really good for the side of COYO. Groundhog, they have to play on the back foot because the stacks are on their favor, and they have to. They're really dealing with all the pressure that Julak and Yinkabi are putting onto them, and they can't really get any like set offense on because again, the unconventional comp, the Juno and the Aimi, they don't really have the stuffing power as like a Rastus primary and an X Bull. A good kill from Flowers will lead them to have a power play, and maybe this is the chance AJ can.
It could be their chance, especially taking off all of those stacks on the Rasmus, giving the opportunity, setting up the Firewall Sentry. But that layering, again, I was talking about it earlier, but Julak and Beelzebub are just in sync with one another. They're not doubling up abilities. They're making sure that even against the Firewall Sentry with an Aimi standing inside of it, they cannot lose a barrier. The secondary as well from Julak to make sure that Beelzebub could get down in time to defend that barrier. They do lose one in the end, but it was so much invested for the first barrier, and the first barrier is rarely ever the problem. The second barrier still standing in. Kirby is not going to be able to get through the Astral Projection. The core flip from Sphinx is really nice, waits it out, a little bit of patience on that one. Unfortunate Sphinx does not find the angle into the bottom, but Flowers will find the angle up at the top. The barrier finally goes down, the core flip with the Firewall Sentry. And that is an excellent checkmate there from Flowers. There's not a whole lot about that you can do. All of the abilities were already invested. There's not much left in the tank. And an excellent find there on just a team that is weary from the solid defense they've had to put up so far.
Yeah, there's this win condition for the side of Groundhog Day. It's going to be either like finding these cheeky kills with the Aimi dash, or Koi speed from the Juno, or even just not even killing. They can't even do that, but just finding these setup plays with the top, if they get hot shot on the Juno, or just this Aimi turret, just put a lot of creations down the field and just stuff them out. But it's gonna be really hard because the Julak and Beelzebub are looking really solid on defense, and all they need is to get Yinkabi the ball once, and he'll probably score.
Yeah, but you can also use the Firewall Sentry to just get so much forward pressure. Flowers trying to play this game, but Sphinx was in the midfield there, trying to block out Yin Kirby, but that just meant that the clear down to the bottom was fine. The Glitch Drop gets it forward. Flowers gets a really nice bounce off the middle there. Beelzebub trying to intercept, but Flowers just got a strike afterwards. And now he's just about to start talking about how good Julak has been with the angles, especially on the core flips all game long, but Flowers pulling an angle like that from out of nowhere was amazing.
An unconventional playstyle for Flowers is what she needs to do to make quick work of this Mako, and it's gonna really rely on either, okay, we're gonna get this core speed up, and we're gonna get these tricky scenarios that they're not, oh my gosh, 2 core flips are burned, and you might get the barrier here, no, but they need to really pull all the stops out in order to make something happen against this team.
Yeah, I think Groundhog Day really needs to just get a lot of forward pressure throughout this. They can't let it be passed back and forth as it has been so far, because that just enables cooldowns to come back. And the core flip from Sphinx was a nice idea to get some momentum, but didn't quite get the connection that he was looking for on it. And Jewish Asian just slowly running on the Atlas down to the bottom there, using the Cosmic Expanse to zone out the Rasmus. Julak low on health, gonna use the core flip. Strike shot is really nice. Astral to follow it up. Firewall Sentry carries it forward, but can Flowers actually get it through in the end? Unfortunately, the missed strike there. A great clear found by Beelzebub. Jewish Asian getting it forward on the bottom. Sphinx as well running to the bottom, but Flowers up the top of the Cyber Swipe. Strike not enough. The Glitch Drop sending it forward. Astral Projection as well. Beelzebub a strike shot countered by a core flip. Great setup with an arrow, but not enough. And an incredible find on that narrow gap by Flowers as the arrow was expanding. But the pendulum swing from Rasmus is going to secure the last barrier that is on this field, and both goals are now open. Glitch Drop trying to intercept the core, but not enough. Of course, we do have these red core slimes all over the place, and Beelzebub whiffing a strike, unfortunately, is going to mean that Sphinx scores that last goal and ties up the game. 1-1 set.
It looked like Beelzebub actually kind of lagged there, so unfortunate. And this draft is looking really scary. Deadeye on Amy, she has the pick of the litter here, and I do want to point out this team player. This team player might change the course of this game, and whoever gets it will give their team a lot of abilities to just push up and really stuff each other out.
Yeah, that team player on the Mako will just help Beelzebub clear past this Flowers, Sphinx, Imi, Juno combo, where they have the opportunity to recover the core themselves with the slimes or the glitch pops, but when the core is so much faster off the team player, that gets a lot harder, especially if you've already been dribbling with them back and forth in Strike Wars, and the Mako is able to proc that 1-2 punch on top of the team player. The core is going to rocket out of the goal box. And on top of that, Rasmus getting more size, demolition as well for the cooldown reduction is really nice. One barrier does go down, not two just yet, and a great offense from Sphinx and Flowers. It keeps it in the middle, but Yin Kirby finds an angle along the bottom. Flowers dribbling on the top of the side with the Cyber Swipe, not going to be enough. Glitch Drop sends it forward, but the Strike War is won by GHOG with so many ability uses as well. The primary just perfectly timed, but I mean, Jewish Asian on this Atlas pick has been putting up a phenomenal defense. So has Beelzebub, though. Core flip forced out of Flowers. The hook from Yin Kirby was perfect to snag it out of the air, though. Beelzebub also looking very close to that core flip and is going to get that now. Might have to use it, but isn't going to need to just yet, which is massive because now it's available for the next round of defense. And Flowers also taking a lot of damage. The core flip from Yin Kirby also invested. Core flip from Sphinx. I say kill flip because I see an angle potentially onto Flowers here, but it's not quite just yet. There it is. It's going to be the secondary from now to pick that one up. And of course, that team player speed all over the place. Death's Touch from Yin Kirby predicting the Rasmus clear beautifully as well on top of it. Secondary comes out. The core flip from now is actually just a bait, and Yin Kirby is actually the one to get it up to the top side of the map while they're distracted by the core flip.
Really good play for the side of COYO. And I'm really looking at this brawler goalie matchup for the side of Yin Kirby and Jewish Asian. Yin Kirby does have the double size with stacks, but on the other side, Jewish Asian has the twin drive or the prime time. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to look at because Atlas has so many cooldowns, and if Yin Kirby can get the ball like 5-6 times, which is kind of hard because all this core control coming in from Sphinx and Flowers, but just using the size to get through the Atlas, but the Atlas has 4 cooldowns. It's gonna be really good to watch here.
Yeah. One of the other things to watch out for, oh wait, the core flip from Flowers intercepted by Yin Kirby. The slime as well is really nice, but not enough. Pendulum swing as well is going to take the barrier, and we just go right back into this game. I was just about to start talking about some of the stats, but you never get a chance to in this game. The Strike Wars are being fought, and in the end, one Yin Kirby finding that same angle up to the top, and Jewish Asian not quite able to get the intercept with the Cosmic Expanse. But the one thing I was going to point out was the stacks on stacks. 150 stacks on stacks to both Yin and GHOG. Flowers only on 84.
So they do have to deal with his stacks 150 because they're not really looking for KOs with this comp. They're playing for core control, and you're going to be down. Like, Sphinx is playing midfield, and he's just going to get outsped by both the brawler on the side of COYO and the midfield. So it's really relies on Flowers to just make do with any interaction she can. Because if the ball gets past her, it's not looking good for Juno. She has a little bit of slimes, but it's not enough.
Yeah, another great core flip found by GHOG, but I was just about to say, oh, the Yin Kirby core flip not as good, but never mind, it's actually exactly what's needed to get it through. And a 3-0 set this time, going the way of COYO. Yin Kirby once again the MVP there, putting in the work. I don't think Juno is going to get hot shot this time. It's going to be denied by the now, it seems like. And Fight or Flight going the way of Rasmus. I almost want to see the Might of the Colossus because of all of the already picked up size, but the Fight or Flight is also an amazing pickup, nevertheless.
Pop on Atlas is probably going to happen here. And I would like to see Stinger pick up. Yes, Stinger pick up on the side of Juno. So maybe if someone steps on the Juno side, they take a lot of damage from that Monyu. And surprisingly, Ariel's pick up from the Atlas. Maybe they deny the Mako, but she just gets Missile Crown. What do you think about that, AJ?
I think that I like Missile Prop on Mako a lot. I think that this game is a little fast-paced for it to get the maximum use that you want out of it, but I do also think that there's been a lot of times that Beelzebub has been shooting down from all the way, you can see right then, trying to shoot these 3-point shots, and I mean, will be able to do that a lot more easily with the missile prop, so definitely think that's a really good pickup there. You know, the draft going either way, I think a lot of people got what they wanted out of this one, so I don't think any team is necessarily unhappy, but of course, if you're the Juno, you really did want that hot shot to hit the sore spot. Other than that, I think all around, not a bad draft, not a bad game over here as well. Only one berry going down this time. Now it's on the other side. The core flip, the slime, the glitch pop combo from Flowers, not perfectly executed. It was going to be so good, and it was so close. But then it's going to be the slimes that take it down along the bottom. Strike shot whiffed. The Ash Projection comes out. Glitch pop as well, not going to get the connection. Cyber swipe really nicely done, and Flowers is going to send it through, taking a lead for Groundhog.
Good strike boy there on to Julak, and those scenarios where you just put down like a creation and you stuff like put so many hitboxes down, that's the winning condition for the side of Groundhog Day. But now it's really dependent on their ults, and their ults on like 30-second cooldowns, and if you use it like that, that's an offense gone, and now you have to wait probably another 30 seconds to get even a chance to look at the barrier. But these barriers are falling like they're falling so fast that Kirby and Julak are just gonna score before Flowers has a chance to even do something.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really nice setup there from Julak and Yin Kirby, and of course Yin Kirby the one to execute on the double. And there we go, the Ensnare Drums comes out again to keep it forward, the missile prop as well, and the pendulum swing, core and goalie both. You don't want to be seeing that if you're a fan of Groundhog, but if you're a fan of COYO, that is exactly the kind of plays you're looking for. No loss of stacks or anything on the Atlas at the very least. No stacks on stacks picked up there, but even still, it's a brutal mental blow on that front. Flowers core flipping a little too early as well, but this time Yin Kirby not getting the angle to the top of the barrier. Does get the first barrier. The second one blocked by a really nice slime from Sphinx there. Aspiration comes out as well. Cyberswipe down to the bottom. Slime winning the strike war. One barrier is the price to pay on the other side for now. Flowers trying to keep it in this corner, but Julak is just immediately dashing in there, making sure that this core is able to be cleared out, and just a lot of really nice ability layering as well. Slime is going to take the barrier. The Firewall Sentry putting a lot of pressure as well on the defense of COYO. But strike shot from Atlas helping out as well. The Slime's up to the top, intercepted Beelzebub, a really nice prime there just to make sure that the ricochet is controlled. Yin Kirby winning a strike war in front of the barrier again. Julak with the core flip going down to Yin Kirby, intercepted really nicely there by Sphinx. Flowers core in front of the goal is going to miss a little bit unfortunately there, and Aspiration comes out, is another whiff, unfortunately. Sphinx trying to get something done at the bottom. Glitch pop strike is really nice, and actually finds it through both Julak and Beelzebub. Yin Kirby as well on the bottom there. Flowers basically winning a 1v3.
Yeah, that's scenario in that open net. A really lucky interaction there, and that's maybe all Groundhog needs to take over this game, and it's looking really good, but this core speed coming out from Julak and Yin Kirby might be the swipe flip, cyber swipe doesn't kill, and that was maybe their chance, but one barrier falls, and it's looking really good for the side of Groundhog here.
That it is. And COYO, I mean, we've seen a lot of aggression out of them, but at this point, not quite the same consistency in it. We have a couple of moments, but not the overwhelmingness of especially that last set. Sphinx going to whiff a strike there, unfortunately, a little bit of an Imi shock on that one, but it does happen. Nice hook from Yin Kirby, forces out the core flip from Jewish Asian. That's a big cooldown there. It's going to be a while before that's back up. Yin Kirby close to his own core flip there. Great usage of the core flip from Beelzebub. Yin Kirby trying to stun up the goalie, but a great countering expanse from Jewish Asian is going to mean that the barrier still stands for now. Core flip instantly used, and that is going to be the goal opened up. Julak not able in the strike war versus Flowers this time, though, but it's going to be the whiplash from Yin Kirby that sends it through Jewish Asian, tying up the set 2-2 and putting COYO 1 point away from their first game in the series.
These builds are a bit disturbing. Yin Kirby has double-sized Firefly, and he's getting kittened by Julak and Beelzebub, and that's all. The Atlas cooldown doesn't matter if you have so much speed, just cover all the space that once the ball gets out. And like look right here, he gets the first barrier, he has all this speed, and now the team player just gets the ball up, and now he has another interaction going. And he's coming down, doing all the Rasmus things, just striking the ball, using the slick kick speed, and it's really hard for a Jewish Asian to get anything done as a lockdown goalie if Yin Kirby just has 5-6 chances every single time, and the cooldowns are gonna run out. But the devious flip angle from Flowers trying to pull something out of the bag. It is set point for them. And oh my gosh, strike one win for Flowers gets it done. And now it's set 5, AJ. It's looking really interesting here.
Yeah, I mean, not as dominant from Groundhog as we've seen in COYO's wins, but a win is still a win. That set still feels really good. Aimee has the option to take another spark, stacking up every single spark that's available, because of course leadership was out of the pool already. But that is so many stats on this Aimee. I think that's something to be wary of, but it is also going to be bulk up going the way of the Rasmus, so a little bit more health, a little bit more power, nothing to scoff at either.
Last pick of the draft. You see, as the #1 ad rush enjoyer, I would say that you do not pick a hero because you are not finding kills and it's a speed game. And it's looking that the bulk up from the Kirby is really good. Just allow them to spark it. But that's the triple spark on the side of Flowers is allowing them to find kills like that. And now they have a power play and they can actually do something about these stacks. They can kill them and just have a power play and put all the pressure on the side of COYO here.
Yeah, 158 power on that Aimee. The speed as well stacking up from stacks, so nothing to scoff at there. Trying to go for another kill onto GHOG there, but was a little far on that one. Jewish Agent getting tagged by Beelzebub, just a friendly little goalie hello from the other side. The strike shot as well, the Firewall Sentry putting in the work, though, making sure that the core flip is open, but Sphinx just barely doesn't find the angle. So the goal is open, but it will still stand for now. Kirby trying to get the line of the Pendulum Swing, isn't quite going to get it. A great manual redirection from Sphinx on the slime. Flowers as well with the Cyber Swipe, the Glitch Pop, the Astral Projection, everything being used, but not quite getting the goal just yet. Beelzebub on the defense, of course, has been solid. And Kirby finds his bottom corner that he's been using so well this entire game. There you go, Julak sends up the pass to Kirby. Kirby gets it done there. And Snare Drum's just barely not going to get triggered there, unfortunately for Beelzebub. Pendulum Swing also not going to hit quite as well as Kirby wanted to. Proximity Drone also denied, so a great shutdown from Groundhog. And the defense is going to start going the other way, or the offense is going to start going the other way now, as a lot of these cooldowns have been invested from the side of COYO. Core flip as well from Beelzebub, but does still have that Mako passive. Strike shot counter from Jewish Agent, beautiful, but the glitch pop cyber swipe from Flowers is similarly so, and that's a power play as well. The core is going all over the place. Using the secondary from Alice is really nice for the speed, and that's a great pass up to Flowers. I believe it was a glitch pop self pass. I don't know if Sphinx actually touched that one there, but even still, it was a great try on Sphinx to get there, just to make sure that things go well. And again, Groundhog taking a lead in the set. They're looking a whole lot better, and they're looking to maybe take the game when, I mean, COYO was looking so dominant for so long.
Just Asian, like I said before in previous games I've cast with him, ice cold in his bays, lockdown goalie, beast mode, and a good kill for Flowers, the Bloom of Doom. That's all they needed. Double barrier falling for the side of COYO, and now Sphinx and Flowers are pushing up in the mid lane, and then, oh my god, the almost strike away on the perfect pitch and the slot up for Flowers with the cyber swipe, and it's looking like Cinema 8 brought this back.
Yeah, Flowers locking in on that one. I mean, especially with all the extra cooldown, the speed, the power from those sparks helping so much. But I think it's also just like the mental buff from that last set, from winning it and being able to go forward with a little bit more confidence on this one, a little bit more ego even, dare I say it, on some of these plays, but it's paying dividends. And one of the things is when you have that cooldown advantage, you can just invest abilities so much more freely. You can take barriers with the Cyber Swipe. You don't have to be worried about when it's going to come up, because it's going to come up in just a few seconds even. Jewish Asian with the secondary there is really nice to keep it forward. Use the ult as well, just to make sure that people are staying alive far afield. Sphinx jumping up to the top to get a Flowers glitch drop is going to get countered by a really nice ensnare drums from Beelzebub, and this could be the opportunity that COYO is looking for to send it forward and just take control of the game. But Flowers is going to say no with the core flip as well, trying to go for a glitch drop angle. I love the vision, but unfortunately it's not going to come true this time. Flowers a little bit too much ego on that one, but will also whip the strike there. Almost had the opportunity. Kirby now with the core flip on the other side of the map, looking to take advantage of this, but Flowers glitch drop going up to the top, seen by Beelzebub, pass down to the bottom. The secondary as well is really nice, and COYO is maintaining control here until right then. Flowers up at the top here has the glitch drop once again with the Firewall Sentry, with the Cyber Swipe, and it's all just a distraction. It's going to coast into the bottom of the goal to secure Groundhog the game. Beautiful distraction there by Flowers.
Yep. Groundhog Day came back from, it would look like a really, really hard position for Flowers. The Bloom of Doom gets it done on the Aimee forward, and COYO looked really good in the beginning sets. They had the speed, but then the spikes kind of came in the back, and Jewish Asian he got just locked in. I won't lie. Yeah, he had all the cooldowns, and Kirby couldn't do what he was, the Rasmus things he was known for, and A little bit falters on the defense of those last points for COYO, but I mean, well played for both teams. That was a really good game to kick this losers finals off.
Yeah, I mean, Flowers did really put in so much work there as well. I mean, I don't want to glaze too much, but it was a very clear shift in some of those sets when Flowers was locked in. You know, I don't want to put too much, you know, we're talking about the defense of COYO. It's hard to put that defense into action when we saw Flowers using the entire kit every few seconds off of those sparks. It's just so difficult to contend with. So I'm looking forward to see how these teams go forward, and looking forward to see if sparks get denied or if someone is able to triple stack sparks again, because that is generally not the best drafting strategy.
Yeah. That game looks so good for COYO. Trying to just slip through their fingers at the end. Like you said, AJ Cannon, the mental is so important in these games, and just giving any sliver of hope for any of these teams is all they need to bring this back. It's not about it's a balance of awakenings, how you play mechanically, but the mental. All three form a triangle, and you need the balance obviously to be successful in these playoffs.
Yeah, it really is a game of balance. And that's, you know, I talk about the different stages of the game, but, you know, going into late game NASA, which is almost early game NASL, you really need to have a balanced team. You really need to have these kinds of things. And it's the same thing as well for NAST to NASA. You know, there's a lot of teams moving up through the ranks that are really good at one thing. But that's not enough to get to this point in the tournament. You really need to show that you have what it takes to balance all the different facets of the game. And, I mean, wasn't a perfect balance from Groundhog. They did have some moments. They did have some weaknesses. Like I was saying, every time that COYO took a set, it was dominant. Those two sets that they took felt like the game wasn't even going to be close. Groundhog, a lot more scrappy, dare I say a lot more sloppy in it, but if that's what gets the job done, then that's what gets the job done. They're able to take the goal in the end. They're able to get things done. They're able to take us to the second game here, potentially a game 3 if COYO can lock back in on this. But it's going to take a bit of a lock-in after not really a throw per se, but you were very far ahead on COYO, and losing those last two sets is not an easy thing to get over.
It was all about the stacks, I will say. Stacks kept constantly being reset, and now they're on the even playing field. If the speed, like the Juno, obviously are not having stacks, they had the jump, they had the Dash Awakening jump, and that's all they need. And if everyone is on the even playing field, is the cooler heads prevail. And eventually on that last set, the mental reset, everyone was feeling good on the side of Groundhog Day, and they just got a few picks, a few kills, and the power play literally just sent COYO on the back foot, and that's all they needed for the score.
Yeah. And that is, again, one of those things, the back foot, you cannot, you know, they're on the back foot going into this game, let me rephrase that, where they have to lock in, they have to correct that, and that's not an easy thing to do. Tilting is often a very negative spiral. As soon as one thing happens, it's, oh, we're ahead, but it doesn't matter because we were ahead last time. Even if you manage to get over it a little bit, there's always a little bit of something in there that's still trying to drag you down, so you really have to be on top of your game and on top of yourself in that to make sure that you don't fall victim to that. And I think, you know, it does seem like Beelzebub, Kirby, and Julek have a lot of synergy there that can help with that. Because one of the big things is your team helping you to overcome that, to, you know, look at your team and say, I can't let these guys down, or it's all right. We know that we're better than these people. We can just beat them. That's a classic, sometimes copium, but it's one of my favorite things to do is just say, we're better than them. We win these. Don't worry. Can be a total blatant lie where we're against, like, you know, when I was in like Diamond and we're against like a pro league team, and it's like, we got this. Don't worry. We gap them any day of the week. They just don't know. They don't know our names yet, but they will. So all different strategies that they can use to come back in this one. But it is going to actually be the Juno ban from COYO going onto Oni Village, not letting Sphinx have that comfort pick, which is, I think, a bit of an interesting one to leave the Imi on the field, but I don't think it's as common on Oni Village, so maybe they're just playing into sort of the map meta on that one.
I mean, Ras was banned for the Sonic Groundhog Day, showing respect to Ian Kirby for that pick. He's not. I wouldn't say it's one trick, but that's his strongest pick by far. And they first picked Dubru on. It's gonna be melee goalie face off. Yippee on Oni Village. We're gonna be here for a long one, and if both goalies just play solid, That's gonna be very hard to break these walls. You have so many
Yeah.
cooldowns. You pick Baldrin's Dubu. You just with size. Like, how are you gonna score on this guy?
Yeah, it is pretty difficult at times, but I feel like these teams do have the technique. Of course, there is the all holy triangle to set up there and go around him. Very difficult to do even still, especially against a solid goalie player. But even still, I think it'll be done eventually. I think they can do it eventually. We might just be here for, a solid 30-minute game here. I mean, especially when it's Timeless Creator on that Dubu. Can also go the way of the Demolitionists with the Pauldrons as well. So could either go size or creation size and just have the duration of the creation. Even if it does sometimes backfire, I think it's still fairly solid pick on that one. But I'm looking forward to see what these teams have. I mean, there is, of course, on the other side with the midfield, you have the Estelle, midfield forward combo, the Estelle Julie versus the Aimee Drakkar, and Drakkar and Aimee can really go either way, and I feel like that's potentially Groundhog playing at some of those strengths and just saying, we can rotate a little bit, we can have our midfield rotate a little bit forward to play more forward, and on a map like Oni Village, where you're trying to get that triangle set up, you don't necessarily have the perfect midfield in the middle and forward up front. Sometimes you do need to flex it around a little bit, and I think that comp does give them that option very nicely.
Going into this game, I'm gonna predict, AJ, that this game is gonna probably be, if it's close, 30 minutes. I honestly think we're gonna be here for a long time, and it's gonna be peak, because melee goalie face off with Aimee forward trying to score with a dash, but as long as they just stuff the ball. It's good. I can't even say anymore. This is just going to be a long Oni game.
It might well be, and especially if this is Groundhog going for the bracket reset victory like I know they're trying to, well, the TOs might be crying just a little bit because that's going to be potentially a 30-minute Oni game, which is going to take us way over time, and then to potentially a bracket reset. So we do see, though, the start of this, pretty nice within 8 seconds, one barrier going down. Of course, it's the all-important second barrier on Oni that really matters. But I like to think at least that first barrier going down is a sign of a nice, quick game, even if it is just a lot of Bitcopium.
As you saw, the Timeless Creator Atlas Expanse just stuffed out a Drakkar shotgun and an Aimee dash, and that's literally just their scoring tools, the shotgun or the Aimee dash, and Atlas just stops all that, so they just rotate the cool runs well enough and just don't let the ball get to them. They can just hold forever.
Yeah, and holding forever is looking like what it might be. Of course, it does take a bit of support from the midfield forward to do that, but we are going to see that eventually. Flowers building up to the core flip, though. Beelzebub, though, already has his own. So we're going to see the glitch drop up to the top, but strike shot and the core flip whiff. And unfortunately, Jewish Asian with the funny laugh at himself there. Classic Dubu somersault moment. Piercing shot is going to red cord in overtime. Of course, Yas direction is really nicely navigated around. The core flip is forced out. The Dubu wall backwards to protect the goal is a nice bit of tech from Jewish Asian there just to make sure that there's no way he can get around. And unfortunate angling of the pool noodle is going to mean that Julak is going to be the one to get that. Yin Kirby respecting the midfield and not stealing, securing the goal on that one. JA rotating up to the top as well. Piercing shot getting it almost through, but Yin Kirby is going to pick up the bottom barrier there. And there's another first barrier on each side. 7 seconds for 2 barriers. If we extrapolate that, it means the game is going to be over in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows the first barrier is kind of fake in Oni Village. Just stand on the second one, use your devious backpass from Julak. It is just stand on the goal. You can just outstuff everyone. If Julie tries to dash punch you, just throw like a roll or somersault or a wall. And on the side, for the Aimee, if they dash, you just Atlas Expanse. But okay, power plays, I will say, are really important, and they're gonna need to abuse this if they want to win here.
Yeah, but Sphinx is running some nice interference on these passes, preventing things from happening, rushing the place that Kirby has to just send the core away early. The dash punch also intercepted. and that is going to mean that we go back into this more sort of neutral play. The Cyber Strike up to the top, the Firewall Sentry used there, but not angling quite into the barrier there. The flurry comes out, but it's intercepted nicely by Sphinx, who gets it just barely through. The somersault goes wide, but it's okay this time. Barrier, unfortunately for the TOs, still standing, and Kirby able to get it into this corner a little bit, but Glitchpop gets it out. Sphinx up at the top side. This Cyber Swipe, though, going a little wide. Crystal Thorns as well. Passing play here from the side of Groundhog, and they're trying to get the setup with the Molten Bolt, but it's going to be the Tofu Fortress there. Beach Ball Fortress on this one. Beach Ball Bastion on that one. As we see the strike shot triple there from Jewish Asian, not quite gotten, but the regular strike is enough. The Cyber Swipe gets it through Beelzebub on that one, though. The Dash Punch not secured by Kirby. Firewall Sentry is really nice there, countering out the piercing shot as well. Core Flip and Flowers not perfect, a little bit rushed, unfortunately. Crystal Thorns countered. Shotgun as well comes out. Cyber Swipe from Flowers, though, is enough to seal the deal, and, well, we have a tie on our hands. It's going to be a bit of a long one.
Yep. Okay. The Flowers has a clear win condition. Just keep track of the Atlas secondary and just Miami Dash on repeat when he doesn't have it. And they did it twice in a row and they scored. So they just need to do that 8 more times and we can get out of this match into another map without melee goalies, which is probably not going to happen because that's all these players play. So fingers crossed. We're going to here for a short game or we're going to here for a 30-minute heater.
Yeah, and if we are there for a 30-minute heater, do keep in mind it might go to a game 3. So... Once again, TOs might be in shambles just a little bit. Piercing shot comes out though. Firewall Sentry once again. Nice setup from Flowers to keep in this corner, but Julak does have to spend a lot of the health bar on it, but will make sure that Beelzebub doesn't even have to contest for the clear there. It's taken care of even before it gets to him. We do love our midfielders that do that for us. Cyber Swipe, though, with a strike behind it is enough to get the second barrier. Strike shot, Pool Noodle, all going to go wide, but Sphinx is there to run interception. Piercing shot doesn't get the connection. Pass up to Sphinx, who's very low, has to use the core flip there, using invisibility with the... the invisibility there and the shotgun, so much used there. Cyber Swipe, core flip from Beelzebub, the Cosmic Expanse as well. So many things. Firewall Sentry at the bottom. Can it get it done? No, it's strike shot from Beelzebub. Glitch shot prediction is unfortunately incorrect. Beelzebub getting the read on the read. Piercing shot over to Kirby. Kirby trying to run forward now, but now he has to run backwards. Now he has to run forwards, and he has to keep going back and forth because that is what the core is doing, and he has to follow along. The core flip, though, from Flowers up at the top. Gets it through and takes a 2-1 lead in the set.
Yep. Cyber Swipe, the win condition inside of Groundhog Day is really proving its worth, and this is literally just what you have to do. Just play. I wouldn't even say play lame. You just play possession till you find out. You just get rid of the Atlas cooldowns, and then hopefully just keep track of it, and then you can just use your Cyber Swipe to take it out and take the barrier, and then there's another barrier. You just hope. You have to hope that the first barrier just falls in some uncanny fashion, and just keep track of the cooldowns. And hopefully, they'll do it so we can get out of this game real quick.
We can certainly hope for that again. We can also hope for the heater, and I mean, so far the game is pretty close, and we're only on the first set, so we don't even have the awakenings for the core speed just yet. So this is about as weak as the players will get. Jewish Asian, though, getting passing down to Sphinx, trying to get it through Kirby. Not quite the dash punch. Get the second barrier there. Cosmic Expanse very far forward. Keeps it forward. Piercing shot. Nice angle, but not perfect angle. And Jewish Asian is able to get the defense on it. Nice evade as well from the third. Core flip goes out. Counter by a Pool Noodle. And that's going to be the defense almost succeeding. The Firewall Sentry does get the clear in the end. The core flip comes out and straight through JA. Nicely found by Julak. And unfortunately, Jewish Asian caught to Julakin.
Great joke there, AJ. Oh, that was pretty good. And they're coming back into this neutral state. Just trying to play it slow, get all these cooldowns out. And Flowers does have to flip here, so they could find a cheeky KO, or they could just burn it, and now they have no scoring pressure for the next 30 seconds. And as the barrier falls, AJ, it's not looking too good for the side of Groundhog Day.
Well, you had to say something because now it's another barrier on the other side. Make that 2. Flowers getting the second one. The Crystal Thorns comes out. The shotgun not going to get the connection. We have another lineup. The piercing shot does get it, so now it's open goals on both sides. And Sphinx, no goalie orb there. J.A. Monshin on that one. Of course, there is one core flip on the field. It's on the side of COYO with Beelzebub. It's going to go immediately as soon as I start talking about what an advantage that is. So that is now the opportunity to score. Ash Protection, though, does get the clear. Yin Kirby trying to win a strike war, but unfortunately Sphinx does have the shotgun, does have the strike, and does have just the patience to win that out. They're trying to get the setup with the shotgun there as well, but it's not quite enough. The glitch drop doesn't get a perfect connection, sends it up into the neutral space, and we're going to stall the point out for a little bit longer. Yin Kirby almost gets a pass, but was a little bit too low on it. Piercing shot a little bit too early as well. Rose Warp comes out, shotgun comes out, core flip comes out as well. Firewall Sentry, Crystal Thorns, every single ability in the game is being used. Yin Kirby with the core flip does get countered by Sphinx there. Flowers trying to get something done. Piercing shot countered by a log. Beautiful reaction there by JA on that one. And we are seeing the teams trying to get things set up, but they're just not able to get the setup that they need. Flowers almost getting into the goal, and there we go.
No.
Does get it in the end. Dribbled off the top corner once and then puts it through, and COYO was not expecting that one. Groundhog is the one to take the lead, and JA is the one to get the MVP with a lot of options there. Could take the Might of the Colossus for the extra power, could also take the Hot Shot, especially away from the Estelle for all the extra core speed and cooldown reduction, but it's going to be Twin Drive, denies it away from the Atlas, and I think that's a fine pick as well.
I mean, double cooldowns for the side of COYO, Hot Shot, Prime Time, and hey, this is really, these drafts are really good for both sides. Everyone got what they wanted, but I do want to point out, again, the Hot Shot, Prime Time, the double trouble. I mean, Estelle's going to have much more core speed to get around everyone with ball up. And Atlas has more cooldowns to hold it down against Flowers, whose only win condition is either Omni Turret or Cyber Swipe.
Yeah, but we have one barrier again going down almost a second, but there is the second. Nice Cyber Swipe combo there. But yeah, no Twin Drive on the Simi, no Prime Time on the Simi, so is going to be at a bit of a cooldown deficit, unlike the end of last game where we saw Flowers with a massive lead with the Triple Spark. But Invisible Sphinx running up, and the Cyber Swipe kill with the core as well. Flowers finding a nice angle as Beelzebub was just not paying attention to that one, was not seeing it coming, and I mean, it's hard to when it's the IME that just picked up Explosive Edge. I think he's going to be a little bit more wary of that one in the future, because now, of course, the kill range has expanded both in where you can be and where IME can send it from. Flurry is really nice, but doesn't quite get the job done. The Beach Ball Bastion is also going to be used. GHOG with a nice dribble against the back wall and also sends it forward. Flowers sending the glitch bot forward. The Molten Bolt is well used, but one of the Astral Projections is down. That's going to be the kill flip onto Estelle, and suddenly Oni Village is a kill map. And we're starting to see Groundhog running away with the power plays, getting the second barrier there. Yin Kirby with a really nice dash punch does buy so much time. And now GHOG is back on the field. The core flip does get sent forward, but Jewish Asian is aware of it. Unfortunately, Sphinx does whiff the core flip there. And we see Flowers trying to get a dribble there with the glitch pop as well. Piercing shot gets it forward. Yin Kirby wins that strike war, but not enough to get it through JA, who is, again, solid on this defense. Both of these melee goalies, of course, are very good at what they do. Firewall Sentry trying to send it through the Cyber Swipe, not enough this time, but does force out the core flip there. Rose Warp as well, and we're just passing the core back and forth again in the neutral territory. The shotgun gets it through. I'm about to stop talking so I can hand it over and actually get a break, but then immediately it explodes. Cyber Swipe gets used, and finally some passing play happens, and we're going to settle in just a little bit.
Right. I would like Yin Kirby to sit on Dubu a bit more, because he's trying to play in this mid space and hoping the ball gets to him. But you do have to play a bit lame here, so you just hope that the ball will get to you and just dash punch or make the most of it. Or see, I speak it into existence. They stand near the Dubu, hope the ball gets to him, and they score.
The cardinal sin of Dubu goalie rolling horizontally. It is just so unfortunate when it whiffs, and unfortunately for Jewish Asian, it did whiff there. Great angle off of the beach balls, but not enough to get the barrier with a solid defense from Beelzebub on that one. Firewall Sentry not getting a connection as well, just being dribbled completely around. And that is a very unfortunate usage there, but the glitch pop is really clean to get the first barrier. The second one, though, not going to be quite so easy, even if it wasn't that easy to begin with.
Yin Kirby with the flip. Looking really dangerous. The double trouble flip inside of COYO. A bit too fast to not play. They had to get a bit closer, because Dubu is big, and he can just strike the ball really easily around them. They're trying to look at a kill for Sphinx, but they disregard the core. Sphinx is down and out. What comes out from GHOG. What comes out for Flowers. A good strike from Beelzebub. We get the core out from the mud. has the flip here, coming in July with the piercing shot, and the layer from Yin Kirby with the punch. We'll get that goal for COYO, and yeah, I think the shift is happening here, AJ. That they're gonna change their game plan and put it to effect.
There might be a bit of a shift happening, but not if Flowers can help it, but so far she can't. Not going to be able to get either of those barriers despite the flashy plays, despite the glitch pops and the cyber swipes and everything invested there, and the Crystal Thorns from downtown is going to be what gets that first barrier up the point. Piercing Shot keeps it forward as well. Yin Kirby trying to find this angle, does get the punch, but JA is on top of things. Cyber Swipe gets it forward, glitch pop does not, unfortunately. Beach Ball is stuck in the corner that's going to phase through with a little bit of that Dubu particle quantum magic. And we see, again, the course settling down. A little bit of a different time this time where the barriers are on the same side rather than diagonal opposites. But with these teams, it's still very similar. They're going to look to try and get the clear sort of up and around so that they can not have it in danger. But the glitch pop right through Beelzebub is perfect. The flurry comes out. The Rose are countered by a pool noodle once again. Strike shot comes out. The core flip from Flowers a little bit too early. Did stun up Yin Kirby at the very least to get a little bit of space. But space is not what you need. You need the goal. And Flowers finds the goal in the end. Nicely found again. This ability from that explosive entrance on the Aimi to just teleport from so much further and do just that little bit more damage has just been paying dividends.
Okay. The entry economy is really looking good for the side COYO. An interesting play from Beelzebub doing the primary strike shot that, oh my god. Beelzebub has the lock in, and Yin Kirby's picking up the slack with the core flip kill. And now power play for the side of COYO. And they're trying to keep possession here, play it slow. But I think that's what they really want from the side of Groundhog, as they get a reversal here. Barrier falls. Cyberstar comes in with the glitch pop. Great play for Flowers. It's a 2-0 lead for the side of Groundhog Day, and this is not how I thought it would be closer, especially with IP fucking Brawler getting it done. And now they have the pick of the litter, extra special, fighter flight, size. A lot of things are good here for IB.
Yeah, there are a lot of good things. It's going to be the extra special in the end. I think it's a really good pickup with the Firewall Sentry, just being able to use it that much more. Definitely not a problem there. But that doesn't mean that Monumentalist falls to Atlas, which is going to be a bit of a contender, especially when he already has that timeless graders. These secondaries are going to be massive, which is, well, terrifying, because I'm pretty sure it will now cover the entirety of a barrier if he stands just about anywhere on it. He can reach anywhere else on it. It's a lot harder to just go around him. But, of course, Glass Cannon Dubu, that Dubu on ice is similarly really nice for him. And, of course, extra special Aimi, nothing to be scoffed at. A lot of damage, a lot of control coming out there. Julak almost dead, so is Yin Kirby. It's a lot of health damage just off the start of this point. But so far, they're not quite able to get a handle on that and make sure those health bars stay low. They get the barrier, though, and that's a pretty good consolation prize as well. If you can't get the kill, I'd take a goal any day. But one barrier traded back, so not a goal just yet. COYO still in this one, and the Cyber Swipe not getting the connection. Flowers was hoping to get a pass down to the bottom there, but it was intercepted. JA using the noodle up at the top there, but not going to be able to get the clear. Nicely done. Clearing down to the bottom is nice. To a bit of neutral space, buys a little bit more time, gets the clear in the end. Cyber Swipe not perfect that time. But walking back just a little bit to dodge out of that one. The glitch pump not all the way down to the bottom either. The strike whiffed as well. And we can start to see some of the fatigue getting to some of these players where they're whiffing a few abilities there. But also they're locking in twice as much. The core flip forced out. The Firewall Sentry, Astral Projection, so many abilities used. Cyber Swipe and the shotgun. Nicely played by Groundhog there. Cyber Swipe gets the kill on the goalie, and Sphinx puts it through with the shotgun, even as Julak is sitting there in the Firewall Sentry trying to do just about anything with a dwindling health bar.
Looking really good here for the side of Groundhog Day. This barrier falls, and it's looking really solid. Team play for Groundhog Day. They both have the flips here. They're going to look to collapse on this barrier right now with the Tofu Fortress, with the Atlas Expanse, locking it down there. And the reversal might come out for it, but no kill onto Flowers, and back to the neutral state, and it's looking really good here. They're playing it slow, playing it to strengths of the Jakar Aimi, how unconventional it is, and good strike boy, and we'll get the goal, but the kill comes out, and now match point for the side of Groundhog Day, and COYO really needs to find something here to dig this out of the mud.
Yeah, and I mean, what deep mud it is on this one. You don't even have a set yet, and the enemy team is on that match point. 2 sets, 2 points. Definitely not a comfortable place to be. Beelzebub playing super far up as well to try and get something done in this last barrier. And for now, they do have the advantage, but they've had to use a lot of abilities for it. And abilities do tend to slightly favor the side of Groundhog Day with that extra special Imi turret that can just put so much work in. And as well, that first barrier going down now, the intercept on the core flip from Sphinx is really nice. Yin Kirby trying to get things done with the dash punch does find an angle. Also finds an angle inside the Imi turret, getting bounced all around there. Glitch Pop trying to help out, but in the end, the clear is completed successfully. A lot of damage on Yin Kirby is going to be forced to use the core flip there. The ult from Atlas is really nice and gets a ton of healing out, but the goal is still not scored just yet, and the angle is not very easy to find on this one. It's very difficult for COYO to find their in on this goal with just how oppressive Sphinx and Flowers have been before you even can get to JA on that defense. So pass up from Flowers to Sphinx, Glitch Pop down to the bottom just to catch a clear just in case. The Cyber Swipe to finish it off, and Flowers has been doing that play so consistently for the last few times. And that's going to be Groundhog taking Game 2 and taking the series in fairly fine fashion after a little bit of a dicey start in Game 1.
Really solid play for the side of Groundhog Day, punching the ticket into Grand Finals against guys on the winner side, Fricken Esports. Really solid here. And unfortunately, that'll be the end of the playoff run for the side of COYO. Third place. And just looking back on this game, Flowers has 7 goals with the 2 assists, 30k damage, the most in the lobby, and the redirects on her team. And Flowers kind of just put on the backpack, locked in, and said, okay, I'm going to play for Imi Cyber Swipe and just keep track of all the cooldowns and make sure that all the interactions I do are in winning positions. And I got to make the most, especially with Atlas. And the JA really exposed, not even exposed, he played to his strengths in Dubu, and he just won as the melee goalie enjoyer, as the 1v1 like lockdown goalie. He just didn't let Yin Kirby do much, and they just allowed Flowers to do her work, her job of just scoring and making the most.
Yeah, and it was, you know, a couple of dicey moments, a couple of funny ones there, but in the end it was JA locking it down, Sphinx helping on the lockdown, that enabled the Flowers to play so much further up and use so many abilities further up, and just make sure that it's that team trust that really enables these kinds of plays that you love to see at this level, where a lot of these plays are quite dumb if you don't have the trust in your team, if you don't have the faith that your team has your back, because a lot of them, they leave the map open, they leave open spots, they leave places where people can go through, but in the end, the trust in the team is what does it. COYO, unfortunately, is going to end here, and Groundhog, like their namesake, is going to be returning to the upper bracket there, and they're going to be going to the grand finals to face down with Fricken Esports. And it's going to be a bit of a fun time. Probably some Imi bans or picks in that one, so stay tuned for that one. But that will be all for now. Big Tilt, any last words?
Not much. I'm looking forward to seeing this grand finals, and it was a pleasure casting with you.
You as well. That'll be all. See y'all later.